audience. Okay. From the Mom of an Autistic Child by Stacy Crutchfield. Imagine with me for just a minute that you are having just a regular day. You have an 18-month-old child and you're fixing to go get their shots. So you go to work, you skip your lunch break, you go to the doctor's appointment in the afternoon time. It's time for the shots, and you go in there and he gets the shots and he seems inconsolable for a longer period of time than what it was the time previously. Whenever he gets the shots, you notice in the next couple of days that he starts making a choo-choo train noise, like a train is literally crossing the tracks. And you think that he's playing, but someone else points it out to you. And they also point out that he's delayed, specifically in his speech. This is actually what happened to my husband and I just a couple of years ago with our almost 4-year-old now, Aiden. And it is actually happening increasingly across America, according to David Fernandez in a 2015 issue of Economic Inquiry. What I would like to speak with you about today is what autism is, the steps we took next to get a diagnosis, and what we can do for Aiden in his journey along his way. First of all, I would like to tell you what autismspeaks.org says that autism is. Autism and the autism spectrum disorder are general terms for a group of complex disorders of brain development. These disorders are characterized in 3 different groups: social interaction, verbal and nonverbal communication, and repetitive behavior. Now, because there's 3 different groups that they're tested by, some kids can be stronger in some areas and weaker in others, or stronger in all areas or weaker in all areas. Because of this, it causes a variation of the disorder called a spectrum, just like a rainbow. I would like to take this time to show you this rainbow that my autistic 4-year-old actually drew for us. He learned how to do this off of Sesame Street this week, and he loves rainbows right now. Aiden is actually somewhere in the high functioning to mid-range area, and basically what that means is that he can do more than a lot of the other kids that are diagnosed with autism. Each strength that we call, or each of Aiden's strengths, we specifically call his superpowers because even though it may be a small thing, it is. You're gonna have to stop crying. This is killing me. It is a huge success. Next, I would like to talk to you about how we came to Aiden's diagnosis after 22 really long months of appointments. The steps that we took were, first we went to the doctor because of these things with the choo-choo train noise and the developmental delays. And we started with looking at his ears to see if there was something going on there. He had a lot of earwax buildup, which we had to clear out for hearing tests. And we were sent to an ear specialist for the hearing test, who sent us to an ENT. The ENT recommended tubes for Aiden to help his ears drain. Next, we had an evaluation with DHS because he was developmentally behind, and that basically just verified that he was developmentally behind. The next thing that we decided to do was take him to get glasses to see if that would help with what was going on. And it did, and he did need glasses, and that has helped as well. The optometrist said, you know what, he does need glasses, but you guys need to pursue this more and see further what's going on. So at that point, we decided to get Aiden into a psychologist, and she actually diagnosed him April 1st of 2016, which isn't that long ago. Next, I would like to talk to you about the opportunities that we have as parents to talk to to help our children along their way and along this process that he is going through. The first thing is that he can go into speech therapy with a speech pathologist. He can also go see an occupational therapist. This helps him to use his motor skills, which includes writing, holding a pencil, things of that sort. The next thing is that he can see a play therapist. Now, the play therapist actually helps him to learn how to play with children that are his age without hitting and grunting and yelling at them, and actually being able to communicate with them instead. The other thing that we can do as parents is help them to use their big muscle play. They have a very strong need to use their big muscles. And what I mean by big muscles are their core muscles, like jumping up and down on a trampoline, or running, or lifting weights, or climbing is another big one. Running uphill helps them to use their big muscles that they need. Aiden does a lot of balancing on different things to figure out what he likes to build those muscles, his balancing muscles as well. Another thing that you can do to help your autistic child is to read to them all the time. They're constantly unable to use words because they have a hard time understanding how to use words into a conversation. And so what you can do is read to them, and that gives them a bigger vocabulary. And it also, if you sit and explain everything that you're doing, from I'm giving my son a hot dog right now, and it sounds silly whenever you're just sitting there pretty much talking to yourself because he can't talk back, but what he's really doing is soaking in everything that you're saying. And so that's exactly what we do. And actually, according to Chloe Silverman in her book Understanding Autism, Parents, Doctors, and the History of a Disorder, she states how important it is for parents to have that interaction with their autistic children. So, in conclusion, there are many steps to getting diagnosed with autism. There are many decisions to make along the way as a parent, and there are so many opportunities to help your child along their journey and to support them during their hard time as well. The most important thing I'd like you to take away from this is that autistic people understand you. They just have a hard time vocalizing back to you what they want to say. Thank you. Here's one more shot of my audience.